Hello and welcome to learning about cannabis and cultures. As we know today, cannabis seems to be a very popular drug people love to take, but was it popular as it is now, back in the day? I can say that the use of cannabis was very common in all the years before us. It was used to treat a vast array of health problems and was listed in Emperor Shennung's Pharmacopoeia all those years ago, and it was still used to treat health problems like it is now. Cannabis was a very common drug used for religious purposes, whether that was sacrifices or other religious practices, less gruesome. Around 440 BC, it was used in funeral rites and used marijuana to make them happy during sad funerals. I mean, that's pretty smart. I never thought about that, but I'm also not old enough to do it. So that's also another thing. But most people in Central Asia, they would sit in closed tents where cannabis seeds were thrown onto hot stones to smolder. It is highly probable that the seeds still carry enough pollen-bearing plant matter to give a psychoactive element to the smoke, as Herodotus writes that inhaling the fumes causes them to shout for joy. Makes them happy? Have a good time? I don't see nothing wrong with it. Even when people were being buried, they were buried with cannabis leaves. This was found in China. For example, in Western China, the grave of a shaman dated back all the way back to 2700 BCE. The flowers were from a psychoactive strain of cannabis. They were found alongside seeds, stems, and leaves. Even some lords used it so much they got names because the use of their marijuana was so drastic. Shiva, the supreme godhead of many sects, was given the title Lord of Bhang because the cannabis plant was his favorite food. The ancient Hinduists thought the medical benefits of cannabis were explained by pleasing the gods such as Shiva. So it seems to me so far that they are combining it with religion and just for fun, which I'm not judging them for that at all. I'm not judging them at all. People used cannabis to experience things in a different way. For example, whether that's watching a movie or doing something as simple as music. Cannabis for them was a way to experience it in a different way. To me, it seems like they were always looking to make it better. Like you watch a good movie, maybe when you're high, it makes it more interesting. Maybe you're more locked in. It seems that they're trying to get to a different level of understanding, whether that's during a movie, like I said, or just talking with friends. I bet you could come up with a lot of good things. And then among other things, smoking cannabis helps people, like I said, experience the music, the films, or even art more intensely, or even enjoy food more. It makes food better. I don't see anything wrong with that. But the people use cannabis now and then to get a better look and have more enjoyable time at events that maybe wouldn't be as fun as they would if they weren't on cannabis. In the Egyptian tomb of Menon, there are various pictures of artwork of cannabis and Egyptians using cannabis and what they saw and how it helped them. An ancient Chinese drawing also shows a man growing and picking cannabis and seems to be eating it, as shown right here. It was even traced back to an old Jewish temple. They found residue and temple links, and I would assume they used it as religious practices. Maybe that's to reach him. Cannabis was used for all types of activities and purposes. Even in religious, I know some religions, they don't allow smoking or alcohol anymore, but back then, it seems like they encouraged it. It was used in all different types of things. And before we even thought it was possible, they used it. Cannabis was used by everyone, whether that was kids in high school or people in retirement homes. They used cannabis and still use it today. The health benefits seem to be overwhelming the reasons not to do it, and that's why they use it. Thank you for watching. Bibliography, Cultural Cannabis Archives, created by hashmuseum.com, Ancient Egypt, Rich Historical and Medicine Cannabis, Cargnimba.com, Cannabis Residue Found in Ancient Jewish Temple Links, Hallucinogens with Religion, TheGuardian.com, Ancient Egypt's Rich History of Medical Cannabis, Kenegma.com, The Recreational Use of Cannabis, hashmuseum.com.